Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to Black Mom Stories. Today we have here with us Flonisha Davis, who is an active duty soldier who currently lives in Savannah, Georgia. And she's a new mom of a 3-month-old baby girl named Laura. And we also have Jasmine Wilkins, who is a librarian and historian who currently lives in Winter Garden, Florida, and who is the mother of a daughter named Kinsley, who's almost 4 years old. So thank y'all again for being here on episode 3, the societal pressures of snapping back. I think this is a very important conversation, not just for new moms, but for moms who have been through pregnancy already, just to really highlight that snapping back after pregnancy is more than just physical, and there are a lot of things that you go through that also affect your mental health, which can deter you snapping back all together, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Flo, considering that you're a new mom, would you say that, I know as moms, we do all this preparation, just for birth, like what's our birth plan gonna be, what pediatrician am I gonna have, what daycare, blah, blah, blah. But would you say that you looked into anything to be prepared for postpartum?
Postpartum, I honestly looked in everything when it came to my daughter and not for myself. So, like how you mentioned, like daycare and pediatrician and just, making sure that she was okay. It was more of her and not me. So that was more the lines. I really wasn't concerned too much about me.
Right.
Jazz, would you say the same happened for you?
Basically, I didn't really know what to expect with postpartum. Like I've heard people say depression or whatever, but I didn't know how to really tackle that unless trying to stay into like high hopes. And I guess that's kind of how I deal with a lot of things anyways, where I just try to look at like the positive and what it's teaching me, because I don't know. That's how I deal with struggle at the end of the day. So like I didn't know how to make it like a preventative care type of thing. It was just like no matter what, just keep your high hope.
Yeah, and like with me, like I didn't even, that was like the last thought in my mind until it happened. So
Right. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but I would say like me physically snapping back was on my mind my entire pregnancy. Anytime someone said, "Oh, you're getting so big," I thought about, "Oh man, this some extra weight I'm gonna have to drop off," after my pregnancy. And like, I kid y'all not, um, the day after I had my daughter, I literally went to the bathroom to look at what my stomach looked like. And I think for me, that was like the beginning of the end, as far as like me being able to snap back, not only physically, but mentally, because like I really put the pressure on myself. And then there was also, pressure from social media. So Jazz, how would you say, because I know our daughters are, practically almost the same age. So what would you say your experience was like after delivery?
Okay, in relation to like realizing your body is because like when I was pregnant, I was able to kind of like not hide it, but like if I just wore a regular t-shirt, it wasn't really noticeable that I was pregnant until like 7 months. So I didn't really think about not being like, I thought I was going to basically be back to where I kind of started, because I thought I was all belly, but it was like those last like 4 weeks where like my belly got really, really round and like stretch marks came out of nowhere or whatever, that I realized like, okay, I probably should have took oiling down my stomach a little bit more seriously. But so it didn't hit me that I wasn't going to like go back to normal when I had her, and I still did 6 months pregnant. And like, the stretch marks was like all swollen looking and my stomach was dark. And her dad was like, "Oh, he was like, well, you're never gonna be in a crop top anymore." And I was just like, well, dang.
Yeah.
By the time we came home, that first like week, I had dropped those. I think I was normally like 140. I was like 165 by the time I delivered. So I had dropped those 20 pounds within that first week. So I thought like I was okay. Like I was still skinny, but my stomach still, it was just like, you know, it had stretched and it kind of like deflated or whatever. So that was kind of like my issue the first year, almost 2, where it's like my everything else seemed okay besides like, you know, I always had big breasts, but they were just like even bigger than I was used to. So like my stomach, I knew that was like an issue for me. But I did like my everyday, it wasn't a problem. Like when I wore regular work clothes or school clothes, you couldn't tell. Like people was like, "What are you talking about? Like you don't look like you just had a baby or whatever." But when I would try to go out, that was the self-esteem killer.
Yeah, it's like how do I adjust to
saying?
this new body? What is sexy me in this new body look like?
Right. So like stuff that like ruffles and stuff probably did me some good, or stuff that had like an extra layer did me some good, but trying to fit into them fitted dresses really made me feel a type of way when I would get dressed. So that was like the mood killer, trying to get back out there. And I wasn't ready. And I think after year 2, I finally got a trainer, and it was good for like a good 3-4 months, and then COVID hit, and then I'm like back to square one.
I definitely feel that. So Flo, in this 3 months, how has it been for you readjusting back to your body?
Oh, it's rough. I gained 50 pounds in my pregnancy. After the first 2 weeks, I lost the 30. And I remember people telling me while I was pregnant, like, you know, if you breastfeed, you know, the weight's going to get off of you. If you walk while you're pregnant, the weight's going to get off of you. So I did all that.
So listen, I'm glad you brought that up. So for me in particular, I had like a difficult time breastfeeding. And I didn't have like, I had a lactation consultant in the hospital, but I didn't really have someone to, you know, educate me on how to properly breastfeed, or, you know, if your milk isn't producing, like the steps in which to do to make your milk produce. So that was rough for me, trying to use that as my, you know, oh, I could drop weight.
Snapback,
yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up.
But yeah, so because I think my milk came in when I was about 8 months pregnant. And I was already, it came in early. Like I was already leaking through my shirts and everything. So when she did come, after I had her, they threw her right on the boob, and we just went to work, and I pumped because I wanted to be able to move around and not just have to like have her on the boob. So like I said, that helped for the first month of dropping the 30 pounds. But then I got stuck at losing the last 20. And I was okay with knowing that I still had time, but then I was like, okay, I had her in January, my birthday's in March, and March is going to be like my comeback season. Like I got my picture caption ready, I got my fitted dress ready, like I'm gonna be on it. But then I realized like it doesn't happen like that, and I wasn't happy with myself. And even still to this day, like I'm adjusting to the body that I have now, still trying to lose those last 20 pounds. And just like how Jasmine said, is like I had big boobs before, but now they're even huge. And I'm just like, how do I get comfortable with this body? And, you know, something right around the corner, and I'm trying to be outside, but how can I be comfortable in this new body? It's a lot to take on. And I'm trying to find different methods. And like how you said, like social media puts that pressure on us females, because you see people like Tiana Taylor, she had her baby, and like 2 days later, stomach on flat. And I'm just like, that's gonna be me, but it's not me. And I'm like, when will it be me? Like I'm 3 months postpartum and it's not working. Like
listen, let me tell you,
when will that happen?
Give yourself some grace. And to all the moms out there, give yourself some grace. And I wish like I had somebody in my corner like telling me like give yourself some grace, because to this day, like I said, like Jazz and I's daughters are like the same age. I'm still not comfortable in my body. And like I've been fairly the same weight like all my life. But I'm still not comfortable like trying to find that new sexy. It's still like nobody really prepares you that like, you know, finding your sexy as a mom, you know. It's weird, you know, my body on the outside looks the same, but on the inside, like
you just know,
yeah, like and it's almost like
chemistry is off for
yes,
me.
like an imposter syndrome. Like I'm not my old body, and it's like, but that's okay. But it's just working through trying to figure out, okay, who am I in this new body, you know?
And then I think also like what gets people like, oh, you just had a baby. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. Like, what you
Not
gonna
at
do
all.
to help me get this weight off me? Like, I'm not trying to hear, oh, you just had a baby. Like, you gonna keep telling me that till I'm a year out? Like, I don't want to hear that no more. Like, what? That's not gonna get this weight off of me.
So were y'all physically active before your pregnancy? Because I know for me, I was not. And I think that for a lot of moms, if you weren't, you just think that, oh, I can just get there, you know, afterwards. I'm gonna just, you know, get a trainer or whatever. And it's like there's so many steps you got to take before that, because it's like again, the new body is not just going to hop back into exercise even after the post 6 weeks when they tell you are cleared.
There's no
yeah. And then depending on how you gave birth, how did each of y'all give birth? And like, would you natural? Okay, flow free.
C-section.
Okay, so how was that transitioning back into exercise with after having a C-section?
So me, I've been active my whole life, and to be in the military, you know, I have to stay active. How I got pregnant literally like after, like probably the month after quarantine went in effect. So I was still active. I think I stopped being really active about 7-8 months, but I was still walking. Like I still made sure I did something. Probably about like 2 weeks after I gave birth, I went back to walking because I couldn't do too much because of being stitched up down there from the C-section. And then I walked every day. Once I was cleared, I tried to hit the ground running, and my body said no. It rejected any and everything. Probably when I hit like probably the week after my 6-week appointment, I started trying to get back into doing push-ups and sit-ups. And it was just like, why am I so weak? I've never been this weak in my life. And yeah, like it's an adjustment to get back to. So I try to do something every day because I know what I'm capable of, but I don't know what I'm capable of in this new body of mine.
Yeah, it's trying to retrain those muscles again since they, you know, been pulled apart.
You've never seen yourself that way. Like when I was going to the trainer and like let's just say I was averaging like sometimes 5 on a good week, 5 workouts, but like 4 or 3. But the weeks that I would have 3 workouts was one day I'll be changing my clothes into my workout clothes. And I look at my stomach and I feel like, one, I have a long way to go before I can see where I want to see. And just that alone used to discourage me. And I would just take my clothes off and get into bed and like kind of like self-loathe for that night and try again the next day. But that was like my process. Some days I felt really, really good about, you know, what I was accomplishing in my workouts, but then other days it's just like I've been working so hard and this stomach don't seem like it's going nowhere sometimes, right? But like by the second month, it was like some improvements, but like when you're going through it, like even now,
you don't see it. Yeah, you don't see it yourself, but other people see it.
Especially them days where you're like bloated and it's just like, I feel like I'm back at square one or whatever. So like there would be times where I just be like, I get kind of like, you know, in a mood and I ain't going to work out today because I'm just discouraged or whatever. But now in quarantine, like before quarantine, I think I had to stop working out because when I was working out, she was with her dad for a few months. So it's like I had that freedom to like go after work to go work out and I would go. When she came back to Tallahassee with me, I couldn't bring her I didn't really want to because I just feel like I wasn't going to be able to focus on it because she was
Right.
whatever she wanted to do. So I couldn't work out anymore. So I was still like a good size, but then in quarantine, I kind of still was drinking a lot, like too much or whatever. And I got that like beer belly by the time like November came. And I really feel like I got like body dysmorphia because
I swear to you. I swear to you. And I really didn't even think about it until like one of my best friends brought it up. And that's why I was just like, I was like, no, but you're not seeing what I'm seeing. They're like, Brie, no. Like,
but my problem is when I look in the mirror, I feel fine. I love everything about me when I'm in the mirror, especially like when I ain't got no clothes on. I love it. When I take pictures,
that's the problem.
It's the reverse.
My real self, and I'd be like, ew.
It's the reverse for me. It is definitely the reverse for me. Like, seeing myself in current time, I'm like, ew, like no. But when I take a picture, I feel more okay because I'm like, all right, so I can kind of manipulate how I look a little bit, which is kind of sets me back to like that social media pressure because it's like I see so many new moms talk about it like on Twitter or Instagram, like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be the one that snap back and da 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 da. And I mean, and some people do, some people's bodies naturally do just snap back. You know, it does happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but it's just I just wanted to like moms to be okay. Like if your body doesn't snap back, you know, like and to learn how to give yourself grace, give yourself time because like that mental strain of trying to get back to you, like you will never be you again. Yeah, like Flo, kind of how we were talking earlier about like, you know, with COVID, we will never go back to pre-COVID. Like this is our new normal. So it's just like your life after the baby is your new normal.
Find your own balance of actually just being healthy first.
Right.
Like, always find your balance of being like your healthy self or whatever, but trying to get back to like what your 22-year-old body could do, or you know, however you were when you were younger or whatever. Like, your metabolism was different.
The college vibe.
Right. And it's like, you know, I've been working out since November, and this is the like in my entire life outside of like PE and stuff like that, I've never been like intentionally working out. Like if I had played sport like flag football, that was the most working out I was doing. And you know, after conditioning, you're not really working out, you're just practicing or whatever. So just like I've been working out for like 4 months weekly, because how many I do in a week varies, but every week I'm doing a workout at the least or whatever. And I'm putting way more effort into my body than I ever had to in my life. And it's like, I'm understanding because like I'm the healthiest I've like, you know, as far as eating goes, like I used to be a garbage disposal. I would eat McDonald's every day, or you know, like eat all this terrible stuff. And I had this good size. It was like now I'm actually being more like conscious of
what you eat, and it's not going anywhere.
I'm working out 3-4 times a week on a good week or whatever. And it's just like I feel like, you know, I just feel like this ain't me. And I'm like, this is the first time in my life I'm actually trying, and it's not happening quick enough. So just like you said, you have to give yourself grace because it's real. It's real.
No, it really is.
It's real. Like,
I thought,
but like, it's real, you know?
I thought as soon as she came out of me, I was just going to go
right back to normal.
My outfit out and planned and couldn't even wear it because I was still looking pregnant.
Exactly. Would y'all say like y'all experience like, I know like in my family, like it's unintentional, but you know how like Black people can just say those things. It's just like, why you had to say that? Like,
my grandma,
everybody,
my grandma,
where they would say things like, oh, so and so has let themselves go, you know, after they had that baby. I remember like me being like, I'm not gonna be the one that they I let myself go.
And I still tell myself that, like, I ain't that bad. Like right now, the worst with me now is my boobs. Like, but like I always had them, they're just so much bigger and it's hard to get rid of. So it's like, I'm to a point
now. They don't go down afterwards?
Mine.
I mean, if you never really had them,
yeah. I've always had them, but these are like, too big now.
I was like a double D before I got pregnant.
I was a double D. Now
okay.
I don't know what I am because I don't want to go bra shopping.
Girl, I'm like a G double E, sister sizes. But so it's like now I'm getting to the point where it's just like I feel like my life would be a little bit more easy if I got a reduction or something, because
I have those same thoughts. And then I don't know if maybe y'all thought about this too, but I remember having a conversation with a mom once who was like, where she is with her body postpartum, and I think she had about 3 kids. She was like, if she ever wanted to get to where she wanted to be, she would need, plastic surgery. As far as like reshaping, the skin and everything. And I thought about that as far as like my boobs. So I'm just like, like you said, Jess, like I've all my life have had big boobs, but I haven't had the issues as far as like back pain. And I still really don't have the back pain now, but it's just the way they look.
Right.
It's just not.
It looks disproportionate, and it makes me look bigger.
Right. The shirt comes out bigger. More. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've always had to like alter my style based just to dress for them in the first place. But when I look at pictures now, like they were always big, but they looked at like proportionate. Like they wasn't that big when I look at pictures now compared to now.
It's like I feel like I'm shaped like a lollipop, like huge at the top and really small
at the bottom.
And everything just seems like emphasized, exaggerated now or whatever. So just like no matter if my layers are getting, and I notice my layers are getting toner, booty getting
they still there.
Whatever. My stomach, my waist is getting smaller. Like I don't have a, washboard. Probably never. I never really had one. So it's just like I don't know if that's my end goal. I just want like minimum pudge, no love handles for the most part or whatever. But I'm to the point where like first I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work out and see how it goes, because when I did a trainer, my boobs I felt like did like I lost fat in them because
they tone. The more you work out, they tone.
Perky or whatever. And like I knew it was working because like almost a month into my workout, it was classic weekend, went to Orlando. I went to work that day. I had a dress on. When I got to Orlando into the Airbnb and I was getting in the shower, I took off my clothes and I was like confused because I couldn't find my bra. And I was just standing looking at myself like, where's my bra? So just like
this ain't the body where I could go braless. This ain't that no more.
But I went the whole day.
And you didn't even notice it.
And I didn't notice it. And that's nothing like, that's not my life. So just like, how did I go this whole day? Like I went to lunch with one of my coworkers and everything. It never dawned on me that I didn't have a bra on that day. Like I just probably threw the dress on and zipped it up and didn't think about it. But it took me, I had to drive 4 hours to it really took like 6 hours to get to Kissimmee because it was traffic. Like I went a full day and some change.
Oh, my back would have told me. It would have been like, girl, you don't feel a little heavy up here? But now, my back would have told me.
No, now I'm just like, it's either me or them.
Yeah. You. I feel that. So I don't know if y'all have experienced it, but I know like for me, the biggest issue with me trying to snap back, which deterred me from snapping back physically, was that like my mental health started to decline. At the time that, I had gave birth, I was in my first year of my master's degree. And, I told myself like, I was fighting so many things as far as, me being a young mom, me being a single mom. I'm like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be great at this. I got this because, everything is going right for me. Like there's no reason for, like I heard of postpartum, but I had heard of like the extreme cases, where
like nothing was so bad that you had to fall.
Right. So when the pressure of, getting my daughter ready dropping her off to daycare, me going to school, then coming back, having to get her, come back home, get her a bottle, study, all that start to like weigh on me is when I started to go through like postpartum depression. And like I almost kind of felt like embarrassed to like say anything. And I probably would have not said anything at all had I not had like a breakdown in class, because like I said, I was getting my master's in public health, and that particular day, I did not, read the chapter, and that chapter was on maternal health and postpartum depression, and I literally just broke down. Jazz, did you experience any postpartum depression?
No, I think mine's more of physical, like that cluster feeding kind of broke me down. That cluster feeding was very tough on me. Even her not allowing me to like sleep how I wanted to. I had to stay on one side the whole time because if I moved, she woke up. So like almost by month 2, I felt like I was having many heart attacks. Like my chest kept tightening. That was like the worst thing that I could experience outside of, I had stitches and stuff when she was born. So just my body in pain was like the worst thing for me. And I did feel like I didn't have the support that I needed or whatever. But my experience wasn't so much I had a hard time juggling because, I'm the oldest daughter of 6 kids. I got a brother in front of me, but my mom has 7 kids. I'm the oldest daughter. So those responsibilities wasn't new to me. So like, I kind of like picked that stuff up really quick, and I knew what to do with a kid because I've always had kids around me all the time. So that wasn't my like biggest struggle. My biggest struggle was the relationship part and trying to maintain that as well. Like, when you working, being a mom, breastfeeding, going to school, like you say, you was in your first year. I started school like she was 2 months and I was going to orientation for my first master's or whatever. So it was like I was juggling all this stuff and I was like very proud of me. But then as I had this like partner who was like unhappy or, like struggling him own self or whatever, like maybe he had postpartum for dads or something. I don't know.
Right.
So that was the biggest struggle, trying to like, keep going for myself, but it's just like, you over here need help too. So that was my problem. And I got to a point by the time when I got time to closer to graduate when I first master's, I was feeling bad about like, at this point, I don't know if the solution is dropping out of school or breaking up this family. Because the two ain't going good together. Like, that's what I was like. I was like jokingly about it, but like, that was kind of like my way of crying for help too. Like, these two things aren't like coming together. So one of these got to go. But I mean, I eventually made it through it, graduated, started another master's program after that. Crazy, I know. But the next one was online, so it wasn't as demanding as being a grad assistant and or whatever. But I think that was the hardest part about being a mom, is basically trying to manage a relationship that I never had to be for, on top of doing all of that.
You brought up a very important thing that I think nobody considers even during their pregnancy, which is like the support. Like you always say like, oh, I got my family, but like when you're in the thick and through of like your postpartum period,
you don't even know your needs.
You don't. So you don't even know how to say, like, how people are like, call me if you need anything. You don't even know what to call.
You don't even know what for. I didn't know. Like, first of all, I was in Tallahassee. My family is from Orlando. So we didn't have family. It was just us two. And what I realized when you're a parent and you're in a college town with your friends, everybody saying, I will babysit or whatever, but they're young. Anything they want you to go to, all them want to go to. So who will he pick?
The baby can come.
And we all go.
She cannot.
Right.
No, she cannot. I'm trying to have a good time. No, she
Outside of that,
cannot.
though, when I was like, first few weeks, because I was custody feeding and I would spend all my time like next to her because I moved, like, she would wake up and like he was working overnight. So I would have to, like, I would bathe like every 2 days because like I had to ask him
Talk about it.
so I can take a
Talk
shower.
about it. Talk about it.
Eating, like I'll be hungry, starving, whatever. Like I didn't know what support was until my best friend, and she's the godmother of Kinsley. Her mom drove up from Apopka, and they came for just a day, but they came and grabbed Kinsley, was like, go lay down. When I don't think I actually was able to actually like sleep well, but when I got up after a couple hours, it was like, we're gonna wash your hair and blow it out for you. Her mom went to the store and bought food and meal prepped me like salad, and she put me on a kale for like the breast milk or whatever. They had baked me some like chocolate cupcakes, and it was just like, that was the support I didn't know I needed. And with friends, it was like they wanted to come see the baby, but it's just like with a new baby, first of all,
ain't nobody supposed to come see him.
Your sleep patterns are off, so daytime might be a good time for you, but it ain't for us because we ain't sleep none last night. So just like very tough trying to get like people to understand like what's not working for you right now or whatever. Like, it would be nice or whatever, but just like I wish I would have seen me in the hospital in them 4 days when there was like help there. And not trying to wait till I get home and I'm exhausted to like come see me and like look at the baby or whatever the case may be. So just like I didn't know what support was, and to this day, they'd be like, why you didn't tell us? I'm just like, I didn't even know what I needed. I didn't know what I needed, but now that someone came and did that for me, now I know a new mom just needs a pan of food already made so she can make that or whatever the case may be. Fold some laundry, like be over there and support. And I like that episode of Insecure when they was over there doing the laundry, like. That's what you need. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, maybe older people, they tell you keep your socks on, don't go outside for 6 weeks. That's what I understood.
Yeah.
Don't go outside. But I think at one point, I had wanted to give up on breastfeeding because it was like stressing me out.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was like producing enough at the time. So I was willing to go get that formula milk. And like her dad was kind of against it. And it was just like, first of all, you don't get to choose. Because I'm the one.
You producing the milk.
My body.
So you ain't got no say right now. So I had to get up and go try to get it myself. I had stitches, so sitting on my behind was like excruciating, or whatever the case may be. I forgot what I was about to say. What was I talking about?
Getting the formula.
Even before then. It was dang, what was I about to say about that?
As far as the support.
Yeah. Yeah, they was like, you should have called, like you should have said something. It's just like, I don't even know what the support was. I don't even know what I was about to say. I can't remember.
Mine was different.
And Flo, you're married.
Yeah.
So how does that support look like for you?
So with us being first time parents, the day, like when we got discharged from the hospital, that night was probably the roughest night ever. And we already had it set in stone that no one was coming to see her because of COVID. And, no one seen us during the pregnancy because of COVID.
Right.
And I remember that first night, because I had a C-section, so I couldn't even sleep in my own bed. We were both in the living room. We had her in the living room and her little pack and play bassinet thingy or whatever. And I remember she just cried the whole night. And by the time I got ready to get up, he was getting up. So I'm trying to go back to bed and get comfortable. And I remember that next morning, he was like, I was literally this close to calling my mom to tell her to come because it was rough. And it's an adjustment for both of us. Because like I said, we weren't letting anybody come. And as the weeks went by, it was a lot of support from him because he started to see that I started to fall into a depression because I was just like, I'm tired. Like, I'm make sure I have the pump to make sure she has milk. Like, then on top of that, I'm looking at my body. I'm not happy and I'm snappy. So he would do these things and he was like, okay, go have your mommy time. And for about like 3-4 hours a day, like I would just go in the room and just go to sleep or do whatever. And in the midst of me sleeping, he would have her. And then we will alternate. He's like, okay, you have your daddy time, you have your mommy time. So that was we supported each other with them because we didn't have, well, one, we don't have any family here in Georgia, and two, we weren't taking the risk of not only us catching COVID, but the baby. So it was really the support within both of us.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
I kind of was on the same path as Jazz about my support system and not knowing like what to ask for. I think, I was living with my best friend at the time. And I think because I had so much of the pressure of like, I knew my mom, she was a strong Black mom, single mom. So I'm just like, oh, I gotta be
You can do it
perfect.
too.
I could do it. I could go to school, I could take care of a baby. Like I'm gonna be fine. Like I don't need help. And it was more so me isolating myself. But as I isolated myself, it just began to get worse and worse and worse. Yeah. So transitioning, let's talk about the things that, as far as with me, so I talked about this a little bit in my post. Like I had bad puberty acne, right? That I did not know could come back during postpartum. Like, and I mean like bad, like in places I never really had acne before. Like I had acne as far as like, my forehead. But now I was getting that hormonal acne from like my body trying to like balance back after all these hormones. Did y'all experience that as well?
I had acne as a teen, probably up until I got pregnant. Forehead, and I get these period bumps right there above my lips. Hated it. I got the opposite. I felt like things had got well for me after like pregnancy, and definitely when I had her, my skin was like those first until 2019, around my birthday, November. So from 2017 to 19, I rarely had breakouts. Like I've never seen that before myself. Even like I went like 3 years without a period. So even that experience was just like better. It was like an improvement once I had her or whatever. But like something, I don't know what changed throughout the 19, but like my face, even now, I don't know what it is about this time of year after like November until like almost summer, my face seems like it's just attacking me. Like, before I get one, I can't even get rid of one before like 2 or 3 more.
Another one pops up.
Right. So it's just like, I don't know what it is. And like, me, one of my friends told me that I'm not like, I'm good for sitting and hurt or whatever the case may be. So like for me, by the time I realize I'm drowning,
it's too late.
I've probably been drowning for a long time. So, because when I first started seeing the breakouts, it was like Christmas time, but I just was not trying to focus. Like, I was just like, you're not going to get the best of me right now. So I was ignoring it. But by February, it was just like, okay, so I got to do something about this. So I had bought the Urban RX or whatever. But that was just like, that was burning me or whatever. And like, still now, this whole side of my face is like, now I still get bumps, but it's really the dark spots for me that are like, it's just crazy. So like the first 2 years, hormonal, I was kind of, well, I'm gonna say totally hormonal because with birth control, I was manic. I was moody. I was very moody with the birth control in the beginning. But as far as like good changes, acne was not a problem for me, or like stomach. I got appendicitis. So some things was good and other things was bad. So
not so much.
See, I've always had acne. Like it never went away. I've always had acne. Never cleared up. So I've always had acne. Acne got worse once we started having to wear these masks. So then I had bad bumps all up and down my face. After I delivered, like, we're tired. We don't want to do nothing. Like we just want to sleep. I wasn't even washing my face, probably wasn't even brushing my teeth. And I just remember getting bad bumps. And I was like, whatever, like they'll clear up whenever. And they still here. I'll be all right. Just put my favorite filter on it and no one will ever know.
Right. Yeah, it probably just sucks being in quarantine, like with masks. It's not making it better. And that's probably where my problem is now. Like this whole side of my
face. It's like this one area.
That one area.
Here.
Yeah,
And I just started using the Ordinary because I tried another. I ain't gonna say their name because everybody love them, but my friend told me to try them, and I was like, it's not working. She's like, well, it's got to get worse before it gets better, and I was like, what? And I kept trying to use it, and I said, listen here, I'm not using this. I'm not about to go crazy over this because it's not working. And then now I'm using the Ordinary, and it started getting better. And then one day something popped up. I said, you know what? I don't even care no more. I'm just about to water it because it's nothing's working for me. I'm gonna just go. I don't know. It is what it is.
No,
I know somebody who like it.
That's definitely like how I'm starting to like get through my acne now. Like, hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm trying to give myself grace. Like, it's clearing up, but I can still tell sometimes we kind of want to creep back. But yeah, okay. So I remember one thing reading while I was pregnant about how most women experience hair loss. So for me, I would say like just now, my hair is starting to grow back. I went through a period like 2.5 some odd years of just like my hair would not grow. And it was just so thin. And I felt like, you know, I'm like, you know, I've had a lot of hair my whole life. Like, I don't know how to not have hair. And it's just like, you know, I wasn't into wearing wigs yet. So I'm just like, okay, well, the girl telling me like, you know, your hair thin, like, why she braiding my hair? Like, cause I had kept braids for at least like, you know, 6 months postpartum. So I'm just like, she's telling me she can't braid my hair. Like, what I'm gonna do? I can't come with like a little ponytail on my head. How do I adjust? Like, did y'all experience hair loss?
No.
Really?
And that it was actually shocking for me because I'm like you, like I've been rocking braids since I came out my mama. Like that's all I know is braids. And I'll do a little sewing, you know, a little dibble dabble for a special occasion, but I've always done braids. So from the time I found out I was pregnant till I think in November, I decided to get a silk press, and I was actually shocked by the results because I wasn't used to seeing my hair. And then I put braids back in my hair again. You know, everybody get their braids when they deliver the baby. And then I wore them for about 2 months and took them out in February. And then I got another silk press, and my hair just kept growing. And I'm like, I haven't seen my hair this healthy since I was probably like 12 or 13, which is when I used to get perms. Because when I went natural, I was like, oh, my hair's gonna be so healthy and thick, and it really wasn't. And I really think pregnancy contributed to my hair looking the way it does now, because it's just, I loved it. So I didn't experience any hair loss. My edges grew back. My edges are fuller than they ever were. So I might need to have another baby so this hair can keep growing.
Oh my God.
But not anytime soon.
I didn't experience hair loss. My texture just wasn't the same for me. But I think like before I got pregnant that summer, I dyed my hair for the first time with those
bleach
hair care products. And at first I loved it. Like I really did love the blonde. But when I had got pregnant, you know, I was pretty sick my whole pregnancy. Like I had morning sickness for all 9 months. And you know, my energy level was very like, especially that first trimester, like I wasn't even really getting up to going to school like that. Like I was missing hella school because I couldn't even get to bed because I was so weak because I wasn't even holding nothing down. Like I had lost so much weight. I was like down to 125 at one point until I got to like the second trimester where I was able to actually hold down food and like find a system or whatever. But so with that, my hair was in that band puff.
The puff.
Puff. I wasn't combing no hair. I was not washing no, like I was not doing my hair for 9 months. I think one of my friends did my hair one time, like when I was like 5-6 months. She did me a twist out, and I got a picture. I can show you the picture on my page. That was the one time during my pregnancy that I had a twist out. And the next time I got my hair done was for graduation, which was like in April. And I just got my hair braided back and got a wig on or whatever. But it was the only 2 times that I tried to do stuff on my hair. So you're talking like 9
months. How'd you wear your hair during birth?
Yeah.
I had did a twist out.
Ooh.
I did like these big dookie twists before I had her. So when I had her, I took them out and my hair was just like in this like curly fro or whatever. I looked at a mess. So when my friend came and washed my hair and blowed it out, like that was the first time. And it wasn't like a silk press. It was just like a, with my hair is like very big. So I got Snapchat pictures of that too, where my hair was like straight, but my hair was like a lion straight or whatever.
Lioness.
So
right.
started getting my hair done again. I just felt like, I don't know, because I had grew in that time period, I didn't enjoy my natural hair like I did when it was shorter. Like I felt like twist out lasts longer. It was easier. It took like 20 minutes to do my hair. Whereas when I got pregnant, I guess my hair was like growing. So it still was growing. By the time it got so long that like by the time I get done with that front row, I'm not trying to think about that back row. And I'll be trying to cheat my twist out, so whatever. So this is why I'm like this now. It's not working for me no more.
I had to keep the braids and I couldn't even imagine. I don't even know how to do my hair. And I blame my mama because she kept braids in my hair my whole life. Like, I don't know how to do my hair. And then, God blessed me with this beautiful little girl. And I'm just like, listen here, when your hair gets long enough, you go into the salon because mama don't know how to do hair.
No, exactly. That's like, exactly what Aiden goes.
I don't know how to do hair. You going straight to the salon and you getting some braids. Like, I'm sorry.
I always knew how to like plait. And like my braids never looked fresh. So I've been like practicing with ponytails with her. But now like we to a point where we like, okay, we would pay. It's time to pay somebody to do her hair professionally. Maybe it will last longer and look better or whatever. Like she has like her hair is like mine in the sense where her hair is like very frizzy. She has a better quality than I do. But just probably because she don't have my hair probably was like hers before I got a perm. But
it's our mama's fault. I blame Nicole. Threw a perm right in my head because she said it was too spongy.
We don't get into that. But so with her, like her hair, even when people that know how to do hair, her hair does not last in like lazy styles for like more than a day. So you gotta do a lot of little small parts with her for it to last like a week or 2 weeks or whatever. So her hair is very, very frizzy. And I done learned some over the last year or so change, but I'm still not a professional. So it's like now I'm to a point where you can get some professional braids, girl. Like we gotta do weave, but you can let somebody else carry that because Sundays trying to wash and do hair, I'm over it.
Yeah, I gotta keep my braids in because the way my labor went, if I would have had my hair, it would have been all in knots, honey. With throw up in it.
Oh goodness. So Flo, I think it would be important for those moms who have had a C-section, and for those moms who just aren't aware much about C-sections, because most women have like a birth plan. And when you get to delivery, things happen.
Yeah.
So as far as the recovery with your C-section, like how was that?
So probably like the second day in the hospital, because all people told me was just walk. So that's what I did. And I remember that the third night really. So that third night, or was it? No, the night I gave birth, well, right after I gave birth, my husband had some like sour candy. And I was like, oh, I really want some. So he was asleep, the baby was asleep, and I grabbed some sour candy. You know how sometimes you eat something sour, you choke?
Well, I do that with gum.
Yeah. So I choked on the candy. And I couldn't cough, but my body was trying to cough, but I couldn't cough. And I remember hitting the bell and I'm like, I'm hurting. Like I'm trying to cough, but I can't. She was like, you have a bunch of air stuck in you that you have to get out. And really that's why they tell you to walk. And, basically when you want to laugh, sneeze, cough, anything, even fart, you have to like really like hold your stomach. And nobody told me that. And like I said, that put a halt on my whole recovery process because I was just scared to do things. Like I was scared to cough. I was scared to do this. And then also when I got home, I got stairs. So I'm literally like inching up the stairs. So my recovery process, it wasn't bad, but it was, I ain't gonna say it was painful because you can get through anything if you can sit through some contractions, but it was more annoying than anything because you have to get used to doing things and you have to like think twice before, okay, before I start watching this funny movie, let me get a pillow and just hug it really tight. And it hurts.
How long did that last?
Yeah.
It lasted for about 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So about 2 weeks postpartum it lasts, or whatever. And after that, like I was good to go. And then also, another thing they don't tell you is like your body gets really, really cold. And I remember I had went to because after you just, I don't know if all facilities do it, but where I gave birth at, if you get a C-section, you have to go to an appointment 2 weeks after. So 2 weeks after I delivered, I went to my appointment and I was telling them, I was like, I'm really cold. Like my body is like freezing cold, but it's 75 degrees in my house. Like, why am I so cold? And they were like, because your iron is low. I'm like, what? And they were like, you didn't get the iron pills we gave you? And I'm like, y'all gave me a bunch of pills, but only ones I was taking was the gas pills to help the gas come out my body. And they're like, no, you need to take iron pills too, because that air and everything's trapped inside of you. So you have to get it out for your body to go back to a normal body temperature. But it was an adjustment. I'm gonna have to do it again, but at least now I know that I'm prepared because it was things that people didn't tell me till after the fact. And I'm like, well, why didn't y'all tell me during this part? Like,
yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
Like you should have told me beforehand, because granted, like the C-section, obviously that's everybody's last resort, but I wish I would have been more educated on it and not so focused of I'm gonna do this, because if I was more educated on it, I wouldn't have been asking so many questions. Like I would have prepared myself for it.
Right. And Jazz, you also said that you had stitches postpartum. Can you let us know a little bit more about that?
So I had a quick delivery, but when I was pushing, they said that they saw her. She basically rotated right before I pushed her out, so her nose was up. So when she came out, she had split me. Now I don't know if it must have been the adrenaline. Just that first day of having a baby, because that first day I felt like fine. It was like, how you doing? I'm just glad that it's over. Like, I'm just glad that was the first morning first of all, I didn't have to wake up and throw up. I delivered her like 12:59 p.m. So as soon as she came out, I was ordering my dinner that night and my breakfast for the next morning.
Oh,
and
yes, had the menu
I was
ready.
excited to like without feeling no type of way. So like so when she came out, she split me. They had to give me the stitches. The first, I don't think they had give me a shot, like, maybe numbed it. That stung a little bit, but after that, I didn't feel what they was doing down there. Me and her was doing the skin to skin or whatever. My issue was the going to the bathroom. I just could not. I just could not. I would wait. I was holding my pee for like 8 hours.
Even peeing?
Burn. That was the worst part.
Oh, well, I have to step back because I didn't. They put a catheter in me, so I didn't know I was
free flowing.
Yeah. No. First of all, my first time going to when I first got her to the bathroom, I don't remember it being bad. Like I said, I must have been very numb that first day because I don't remember it hurting when I went to the bathroom the first time. But after that, when they gave me those little Maury had some terrible net draws that I'm glad I had bought my own because it did not secure anything. Like I made a big old mess when I went to the bathroom the first time. Like it took me I was in there for a long time. I was like, you okay? And I'm just like, barely, but it's a lot going on. But so
you bringing back memories.
It burned, and they told me to get some type of first aid spray to numb it. They gave me witch hazel pads or whatever. But I would hold my people, especially when I got home, I would hold for as long as I can stand it because I could not take going to the bathroom. We're not even going to talk about, it took like, and it was dissolvable stitches. So it told me 10 days, but it really took like 2 weeks for it to like go away or whatever. So it's like, I couldn't really sit upright on my bottom, and the peeing was excruciating. And then it took me a couple weeks to even go poop. Like I had to drink a lot.
They let you leave the hospital without pooping?
Yeah. Certain hospitals do, because I
think they tried to like wait on me, but it was just not happening. It took me weeks, and when I did,
because I remember I was like, "Can I get the catheter out?" And they were like, "If you want the catheter out, you have to pee this much." And I was like, "I can pee. I'm used to taking drug tests. I'm in the military. I pee like that." And I remember I was just peeing in the cup, and I was like, "Is it going?" She's like, "You're almost there." And then I was like, "Okay, now I just gotta poop. I gotta poop." And she was like, "Girl, you ain't gotta poop. You going right home." I was like,
"Yeah, I don't think they."
That's her. They would not let me. They was like, and I was so I didn't tear, but I was so scared that maybe if I did poop, like all of a sudden it would just somewhere they missed something, it would magically unravel me or whatever. Like I was so scared to poop. But they made it a big deal. They were like, "You don't poop, you can't go home."
I mean, when I went home, they made me go home. I forgot what qualified me to go home, but I was scared that first week or two to poop because I had stitches, and I'm always like very constipated or whatever. But when I finally did go after eating like oatmeal smoothies and stuff like that, it was huge. It was so huge. TMI.
And see, like these are the things.
I was moving, so I had this bin in my bathroom full of bathroom stuff. And I learned this method when I was in China before I got pregnant, where, they squat because they have the flat toilet.
They do.
So I learned that method. That's how it kind of like flows out or whatever. So I had my foot on top of the bin in that position. Like it was like labor all over again, trying to like get it out finally or whatever. Like it was very rough. But yeah, them stitches made it like I am traumatized from the whole birthing experience, even pregnancy. Like, I have to be so much I just have to be very devoted and in love or something to like make me want to get all over again, because I am still waiting to get out of this period.
No, I honestly, and I'm glad you said that.
And I don't want to start over.
I'm so glad you said that because, again, like I was saying, like, with celebrities, who do have the access to surgery and, their bodies can, be back within, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2 days.
That too. And, people don't really, women aren't really educated on all these things that, you go through postpartum and how they hinder you to like, even just feel like getting up for the day. Mm-hmm. Like you like, we're so not conditioned, but I would say like influenced by social media, in the negative ways, because we have that close connectedness. Like, oh, well, this person is about my size. They snap back, or they're doing this, but we don't see the home life. We
don't see behind the scenes. We see
like,
what we see on a picture.
Outside of the snapback, like that ain't the part that they kind of glamorize. That's not the part. The part is, they're popping these babies out, but they have like nannies and all this extra help. And
so they can do all the extra stuff, and they have all the extra
time to work out, eat right,
back on dates,
trainers
later, So it's just like they have access to like help where they get to like go back to their lives. And it's like when you don't really have the access to that help, you're like just trying to find
time,
your new norm. Like you have to find that time. Like even now, like I just moved back kind of like back home or whatever. And this new year, I've been having like this issue with just adjusting now or whatever. And I feel like, I think I was just telling myself today in the shower, like, I think when I rebelled, like February, that was like my worst workout month, because like I think I was averaging like one workout a week, because I started to realize like, you're low-key, you might be depressed a little bit, or you might be spiraling or whatever, because like dang, every minute, every hour of my day is accounted for. And it's just like that, I love freedom. freedom is like my number one value of my life or whatever. Like I have to have some type of freedom on some level. And it's just like me, I have to get up because I work like an hour away. So I have to leave like I don't even have to be to work till 9, but like I leave my house like at 7 something. And I don't get off till like 5:30. And me getting home today before 7 is something I don't get to do like on a regular basis, especially because I have to stop my mom to pick up my daughter. And sometimes that's your mom, you're gonna sit there and talk and eat or whatever the case may be. So sometimes we're not getting home till like 9 o'clock or whatever. But it's like now because I'm trying to snap back, I'm waking up at 5:15, 5:30 to get a workout in, because once we get home,
you don't want to do it.
Guarantee that, first of all, I'm starving when I go for work. So if I eat, I'm not working out after that. If we get home, we just try to get ready for bed because we had to get enough sleep
the next day.
Wake up to 5 o'clock. Like, cause if I stay up past 11, the chance of me getting up at 5 something is very slim. Like sometimes I make it, most times I roll over. So it's just like I have to spend so much time just resting to do the routine that I do or whatever. Even like when Sundays come, I be bummed because just like all I really had was Saturday. And like now my Saturdays, because I be so like tired of being on the go Monday through Friday, I just be like, lounge around on Saturday, like didn't do nothing, didn't have no fun. I probably cleaned and went back to sleep or something like that. Like that's kind of what it was. So it's like when Sunday come, I might do some errands. I might leave the house for the first time that weekend. But it's like I'd be bummed because just like I gotta make sure I be back in bed at a certain time for a whole nother 5 days. So
some things that I found, because I'm so used to for work waking up 5:30 in the morning, go do PT, yada yada yada. And that's not enough, especially giving birth. Like before that was enough for me, but now after having the baby, that's not enough. I need extra workouts. So some things that I found, like if I get home and she's napping, let me knock out like 20 push-ups or a couple sit-ups. So, do stuff like that, because I always talk about time management, but then I'm like, I'm not using my time wisely. Like she's sleeping. She's sleeping right now. Like,
Black folks will tell you, sleep when the baby sleep. Well, when are things gonna get done?
Right. The dishes ain't gonna wash themselves. Like the dinner not gonna cook itself. So like if I get home from my husband and I got her, she's sleeping, let me go ahead, start dinner while dinner's cooking. Let me do a couple push-ups, get on YouTube, Chloe Teens, I'm gonna do it till, I get tired. I may only last 5 minutes, but them 5 minutes add up. So
even now being on like this recording for like an hour now, like she's back there tearing stuff up. Like she's when I get off of this, I don't even know what I'm walking into, but that's what happens. Like even when I'm on the phone, like I remember I was on the phone a couple weeks ago and I was on the phone for hours and like she was just trying to get my attention. So she was like, oh, it broke. And I was like, I'm put on the counter or whatever. And she kept saying, but it's broke. And I say, okay, it's okay. And I was like, you want me to get mad, don't you? And she bust out laughing. So just like she trying to get my attention, even though she already be having my attention any other time I'm not.
And see, y'all kids more active because they're older. See, I still got that I got the little napping luxury because she take a little cat nap. So
she is very active. Like she is more active than a normal boy or whatever. Like she will play all the way to sundown. Like it gotta be like pitch dark and she by herself for her to be like, okay, now I'm ready to come in the house. But now, Mama, you gonna play with me with these dolls? Like
inside,
we're gonna play inside.
Right. She don't quit. She gonna come from the outside and come in here and pull out them toys and trying to feed. You see, she done passed me Legos and doctor. I'm saying doctor, she don't quit unless I make her. Like even when she's on her tablet, it'd be like 11 o'clock, and I'd be like, I have to take it from her, and like she'll do her little crying, but it's like, Kenzie, you don't even like getting up in the morning, so I don't even know why you fighting me right now. But like, it's nonstop.
Yeah, that's my godson. I'll be like, Rio, come on, man. Like, give me some time.
I have one mom friend where like our daughters do stuff together and play together, and like we get together and we can talk and they can play, and that's like the one relationship I have where it's like conducive to like parenting kind of. So even with, well, first of all, when we're talking, we have to like shout over each other because they over here, Mom, trying to talk over us or like playing very loud. And we be like, when we take them out in public, we be needing a nap after that. Like it's a lot.
I don't have mom friends yet.
You gonna gain your tribe. You
Yeah.
gonna gain your
Yeah,
tribe.
I got my daughter got a bunch of TTs,
Yeah.
but they need to move to me. So I'm like, here, just let me work a little bit. I need to go. I need a spa day.
Okay, so what advice would you all give to new moms on how to, deal with the pressure that comes along with wanting to snap back? Because I mean, we can't just omit it. We all want to snap back. But what advice would you give to them as far as how to do it in a positive way?
I would say start early. Like you said, you said you walked to like 8 months. I don't know if that always worked, but it's a start to not, get yourself too far behind or whatever, because it probably could be worse or whatever. So it's like, if you have the energy, at least walk, I would say, in the early times and eat right. But
while they're at that stage of napping, get that time in, do a couple push-ups, do a couple sit-ups. I understand, like me, I was so strict on my diet when I was pregnant, and I don't know why, because I gained 50 pounds. Like, it don't make no sense, but I was so strict on my diet that after I gave birth, I indulged in so much. Like, don't indulge, because I really feel like if I'd have stayed on my strict diet during the pregnancy, after I feel like I would have shed it way more fast. And throw your scale away. Don't even look at it. Do like how they did on my 600-pound life and just break it. Because when you start the first, however, like me, the 30 pounds came off with no effort. And I was thinking the other 20 were, and they weren't. So I kept getting on the scale every day, just seeing it. And I'm just like, what the heck? So like I said, just get on a good diet. Don't use none of them crazy Keisha K or detox teas, because it's not good for you. While you're early, walk. Don't do like me and try to run, because it's gonna hurt. If you can, knock out some push-ups, knock out some sit-ups, but also like take time to get your mental together, because it's an adjustment. Because like I said, like I've been hitting it hard my whole life, and I was like, I can't even do 5 push-ups. Like, that's not me. But then I had to realize, like, girl, your body just went through something so amazing and so
a
grand.
miracle. A miracle.
Like,
it really is a
miracle. You really have to take the time and adjust. Like, it's gonna take baby steps. So, during this week, do 5 push-ups, and the next week go up to 10, and then just keep going up. Because if you try to hit the ground running hard, you're gonna hurt yourself. And that's what I realized. And I was like, okay, let me take it from square one, and then just build back up on it. So
you just taught me something, because when I think about, like, when I get home, and like sometimes I write in my to-do list to like knock out some type of extra workout when I get home. But I be thinking, if I don't want to do 30 minutes, then I can't do nothing at all. And you're teaching me that, like,
and another thing is, you don't work out to the time, you work out to the effort. So people like, oh, like, because like growing up, I remember they used to, like, go outside for 60 minutes a day. Like, I could stand outside for 60 minutes a day. That don't mean I actually put in any effort, but as long as you put in the effort, like regardless if it took you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do how many ever, like 5 push-ups, you did them. Regardless of how fast or how slow you did them at the end of the day. So you always like work out to the effort and not to the time. And don't worry about the whole sweating thing, because I'm like, I'm not sweating, so I'm not getting a workout in. But my husband, he was like, you may not see it, but you're losing inches. Just because the weight's not going down, you're losing inches. And I remember, because I had to take my wedding band off because it didn't fit. And I remember I put it back on and it slid right on. I said, I guess I am losing a couple inches. Like, waist looking a little snatched, the little pudge still there. But, ain't nothing some high-waisted jeans can't fit.
Hello. Get right on up.
Don't pay attention to the numbers. Think about the inches. That's the main thing. Because like I know I lost inches, but as far as the weight ain't really.
Yeah, it's just like the weight, like,
and it goes up.
I tell people my weight, and they're like, "You don't look like you weigh that much." I was like, "But I am." But let's take in context. I got 5 pounds over here and about 7 over here.
It's
so take those off.
Yeah.
10 pounds right here.
Like, take those off. So when you subtract that from that, then I still got this much. But we good over here. This inches getting lost, because even like when I was pregnant, like I said, I've been just a fit person my whole life. I think by the time I hit 3 months, the weight started. It was coming so fast. They were like, we're gonna have to send you to a nutritionist because something ain't right. Like, what you eating? I'm like, I'm eating healthy. I remember I went in my closet and I tried my favorite pair of jeans that didn't fit. I threw out everything because I was so upset. Like, I was like, I don't want nothing. Like, I threw out everything.
That's
and I'm
how
just
emotional
like,
it is.
it was, and my husband was like, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, I can't fit my clothes. And now I'm kind of regretting it because when I did, I think I started shopping for clothes probably about like last month. And I remember I bought a pair of pants. I said, okay, I'm back down in my pre-pregnancy size. Too bad I threw out all my clothes. Now I got to build up my whole wardrobe. But if I'd have kept them, but child, I'm losing inches. The weight. And then I ain't never have a butt, but it's back there now. They say I got a wagon, honey.
It's a wagon.
No. I gotta learn how to shake it because I was in top flight. I thought it was moving, but it wasn't. But you can see it.
Oh my god.
Started gaining weight after I stopped breastfeeding. I was skinny the first year and some change, and then like the weight I have now, that wasn't even what I had when I first had her. Like, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I
don't know where this weight came from, but it won't go.
That's the thing that confuses me because they say if you breastfeed, you lose weight. But I feel like the breastfeeding, like once I lost the first weight, the breastfeed, I maintained the weight because I'm like, I'm still filled with milk. And I stopped last week because it's just too much. Like
it is.
It's entirely too much. And they're like, well, it's like a workout. You're burning 700 calories. Yeah, but I got to eat them.
Exactly. Because now I'm drained.
Like, what sense does that make? Like, I'm hungry now. So I had to stop that. It's people glamorize it like, oh, it's a bonding experience. First of all, she was never on the nipple because I didn't like it. It was weird. I pumped. And it just got too much. I'm like, like, I'm not even spending time with my baby. Because when she's like, I can't do it. I said, let me go get this formula.
So my advice would be, again, just to give yourselves grace to the new mom. Well, to all moms. But to the new moms, give yourself some grace. Don't go in with like expectations of by this date, Flo, like how you mentioned, by this date, I gotta be back. Just give yourself.
And wasn't.
Give yourself some time to readjust to your new body's normal. And even for the veteran moms like me and Jazz, like we still now talking about snapback almost 4 years later. So there's no deadline of when you need to be back. Just go with your body as it goes, one day at a time. Like Flo said, if you could do 5 minutes of this and that's all you got, and you gave your effort in that 5 minutes, if you could get through 5 minutes, then just
build on top of it.
Yeah, then that's fine, and congratulate yourself for that. And also your mental health as well. Within that, if you can, and you are able to afford seeing a therapist and it's comfortable for you, whatever your religion is, using that as a source, meditation as a source when you get the time. So yeah, and
reach out to people because you just never know.
Yes,
like,
and also
you never know.
Support systems, reach out and ask. Like, hey, I don't know what is it that you need. I don't know if you know what you need, but do you need me to come by and just sit, and maybe, watch the baby while the baby takes a nap, or put the baby down for a nap, and then you get whatever
do
time
laundry. Yeah,
exactly. Like how Jazz said, just having somebody come over and do the laundry. That could be a great support to someone as well.
I was like, come sit here and I go to my complex gym. Like,
Yeah.
Help me help myself. Help me help myself, please. That's what you do.
So thank you, ladies, for joining Black Mom Stories and sharing your stories. It's been such a pleasure talking with y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you.